Hey everyone, welcome to the MatMadik cast channel. Alright, sorry, I alluded to something in the last video. I just really want to get back to doing stuff neutral. There's stuff that I've been pushing forward in the Patriot front, with the Trump one stuff, and when it comes to things that you can prove, it makes the whole things a whole lot easier. When it comes to things that you seem to not be able to prove, just standing on a hill saying you're going to stand down the hill saying, or like what people like David Icke would say, like there's no COVID-19. It's just such a big, broad, sweeping statement that got me into a lot of trouble this week. Actually, kind of messed things up for people as I had this fever, passed it on. Work required me that I take a PCR. I took a PCR, came back positive, even though I felt fine. But unfortunately, other people didn't. So it's like it's all your fault because you believe in that kind of stuff, and your politics overcame your decency. And I'm like, well, all right. I guess I was checkmated there. So I was like, okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't take the situation seriously. Even though I may have good reason to not be concerned about the issue as it has been presented to people over time. So many contradictions have been levied out from so many different angles. One can't blame somebody for just saying, I'm just going to live life and not be terrified and live behind this balaclava forever. But when you're in a certain situation where nuance is not appreciated, tyranny is all over the place. Sometimes just going headstrong and dying on a hill is not the wisest way to go about things. So, yeah, that was my tale said quite quickly. I just want to say, follow who you'd like to follow in this movement. I believe some people believe the white hats have been infiltrated by black hats and blah 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 and all this. It's and all there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that is happening to try and discredit people who are actually fighting for the patriots for freedom for everybody. That one has to learn to just use double speak like Trump and say things like you know like take the vaccine, like there's nothing wrong with the vaccine and blah 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 blah. And even though people in this space saying, "What are you talking about? People are passing out around here. How can you say that?" You have to think about the big picture. Later on, you can call things out directly, but as it stands at the moment, we can't, we don't all have existential freedom with and can live doing this stuff on a computer like David Icke or even Salty Cracker. When you can just sit by yourself and say, "I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to take the train if they want me to take X, Y, if they want me to take this and take that and so forth and so on." Some of us have a lot more responsibility than Mr. Ike and so on. And I just advise you to do what works best for your situation when it comes to sticking to your guns. Whether you believe in what I say or disagree, that's fine. But if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to just keep quiet until more evidence comes out to support what you're talking about, just wait. Sorry, but just don't experience what happened to me. Now, with that being said, I'm so grateful that we got another clip from 2000 Mules from courtesy of Salty Cracker, who put this on Rumble. 2000 Mules criteria for the mule status. Let's check out this video and see what we can learn from what the hell happened on the 2020 election.
You have 10 trillion signals.
Oh, excuse me, it's quiet as hell. Let's turn it up.
That's a lot of signals.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I can't hear a thing. Sorry.
Oh. 10 trillion signals. That's a lot of signals. So, what was the criterion that you set?
Sorry, I know I'm gonna turn it down here, didn't I? Excuse me, people. Let's rewind that.
You have 10 trillion signals. That's a lot of signals. So, what was the criterion that you set?
Final decision was they had to have been to 10 or more drop boxes, meaning unique visits inside of a space, and 5 or more visits to one or more of these organizations.
Those were the outliers. It was such an aberrant pattern.
So what you're saying, it seems to me there's no reason for someone to go to even 2 drop boxes, but you're saying that maybe there's a conceivable reason someone did that. Let's identify a large number of drop boxes and multiple trips, and that way we're going to catch not all the offenders, right, but the worst offenders.
The way we would describe it is we want to absolutely ensure that we don't have false positives, meaning including people that should not have been included. We're not in any way saying that this is all there is. We're just saying that based on our criteria that we identified in Atlanta, 242 people that went to an average of 24 drop boxes in 8 organizations during a 2-week period.
242 mules. Now let's pause for a second.
Yeah, let's pause. My God, people. I'm just day by day, like I said, I'm just gonna drop in one of these clips from the Salty Crack. I'm gonna put the link to this thing in the description again. Check it out, people. I just wanted to share that with you. Actually, I don't really have much to say there beyond what I said in the beginning, which was, I mean, hey, I even took the. I mean, speaking of that little anecdote, I rushed through quite quickly with the me and testing positive and even taking ivermectin, which I gotta say helped with symptoms, but I guess it didn't kick in time for the test. Not to mention the spread um, of this thing. Anyway, but when you can spell things out for people, I mean, my okay, I'll just say a theory here. My theory, if you will, is that something. I mean, which is not just by me, but other people in the patriotic movement are saying this. Something stronger has been put into that shot. People who have the shot have been mixing with people who have not had the shot, and thus it has been spreading more and more, and they have it. You know, as opposed to saying that, as Biden suggested, well, actually came out and said we need to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. When you just sit back and look at all the nonsense that was said, like I put in my freeing myself video, which maybe I'll put on Rumble if I get enough support there. When you consider all the nonsense that's been said over the while, over the last 2 years, one could say, wait a minute, I'm not really in the wrong here. This whole thing still doesn't make any sense. Hey, the cure can't be worse than the disease, as Trump would say, the disease, if you will. But you know, when you don't have the proof, isn't it funny? You get shouted down by people who don't really have proof of what they're talking about. When you do have proof, they go quiet. Well, hang in there, people. That's all I can say. This psyop will come to a close, but do what's best for you in this whole affair. Don't even take my word for it or anybody else's. I'm just sharing this out there. If you like what I put out there, then that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But let me know. Catch you next time. Where we go, peace.